Hey guys, what's up? It's Gun Thug here. It is week 2 of PSL. We had a great matchup here between SweeTForU and Btooom. We know there's no love lost here in the world of Gen 4 between these two. I think Btooom kind of came to notoriety on the Pokemon forums due to some of the replays that Sweet posted in the Pokemon Showdown threads. So we know whenever these two go at it, at least the ones that have been posted on the replay thread, Sweet usually comes out on top, so I think Sweet was definitely the favorite heading in. But you know, there have also been allegations, perhaps only by Btooom, that Sweet only posts replays of the ones he wins, and that maybe Btooom was holding his own. I mean, Btooom is number 1 on the DPP ladder. He does have about an 84, 85, maybe even 86 GXE, which, from what I understand, is your percent likelihood of going in and winning a match. You know, that's the number I usually look at when I really want to determine to separate the best of the best on the ladder. And Btooom is certainly up there. You know, some people predicted he wouldn't have a very good season this year. Some people predicted that he wouldn't be making his matches. He wouldn't be even showing up, even scheduling a lot of activity wins. But here he is. He's getting his matches done. He's have remarkably small amount of smack talk coming out of him. A lot of not much salt at all. You know, so this is going to be a good match. This is definitely one I was looking forward to this week. And you know what? Spoiler alert, I've seen it. I know who wins. It did not disappoint. I thought that there were some fantastic plays in here that I wanted to highlight. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We'll go to normal mode so I can keep up. We're going to start with a interesting lead here with Btooom leading with Breloom. I don't see a lot of Breloom lead, but that's not to say that it's not common. It does make sense. A lot of people lead with Pokemon that can put another Pokemon to sleep. This is an example of 2 Pokemon being led with sleep moves, and we're going to see Roserade fire one off real fast right away. It does miss that sleep powder, which though it has, I believe, 75% accuracy, sometimes it feels like 15% accuracy, especially when it's the lead. If you remember, I had a match last year where I missed a Leaf Storm on the first turn with my Roserade, and I think it ended up costing me the match. Let's see how Sweet's Roserade fares from here after missing that. Oh, it's going to bust out something that does 82% on Heatran. That is going to be HP Ground. It's just great to have Roserade as a lead. It's got so much natural speed. I believe it has 307 speed stat. It's also got access to an incapacitating move. It's got access to hazards. In fact, I would say the majority of Roserades that I see in that lead position are there to do one thing: put something to sleep, drop some hazards, either spikes or toxic spikes. If it's spikes, then Roserade's going to be rocking Stun Spore instead of Sleep Powder. But it's just something, you know, a lot of Roserades carry hazards. So what have we seen so far from this Roserade? We've seen a sleep move, we've seen hidden power ground, and then you'd have to presume that one of those remaining 2 move slots is going to be some sort of hazard since it is a lead Pokemon. Heatran gets rocked with that HP ground. It then gets put right to sleep after taking Roserade down to its sash. We're going to see Btooom go to Jirachi. You know, at this point, Roserade has really accomplished what it set out to do. I don't know if I would have switched to Jirachi in there on an obvious HP ground when it's going to take that much. I mean, that's a pretty decent chunk of health. If this Jirachi is geared towards special defense, then that should probably be some sort of clue to Btooom. That this is an offensive Roserade. This is a Roserade that is doing a lot of damage. It's heavily invested. And so maybe you need to be careful about those final 2 move slots. What I meant by Roserade has already accomplished what it wants to do. It's put something to sleep. It's exposed half of Btoom's team. So I'd say it's had a pretty successful start, except it hasn't laid any hazards. But as we'll find out here pretty shortly, terrible play. Just a terrible play. There's not too much else I can say about this. If you've got a Roserade at 1% out against a clearly bulky Jirachi, which is likely, very likely to have Stealth Rock, you cannot expect Roserade to switch out there. There's just, I mean, I see what he was doing. He was trying to paralyze the switch in with his Jirachi. That's definitely one of Btoom's biggest strategies, to spread paralysis with T-Wave. It's a great strategy, especially in Gen 4, especially when you're rocking a Jirachi. But what he ends up doing is he ends up taking a needless 40% damage from that HP ground by paralyzing a 1% health Roserade that wasn't going anywhere. I mean, this thing switches out and it's going to risk coming back in on rocks, and it's just dead weight. There's just no reason not to just exhaust this Roserade and see if you can fire off another hidden power ground. I cannot fathom that play, and yeah, it comes back to bite him. Now he's thinking, oh, well, you know, I paralyzed the Roserade, it didn't work out, I guess I'll Iron Head. Easy switch for Sweet. Sweet gets Swampered in for free, basically, and is going to be able to set up rocks here relatively easily. And so, Btoom's going to switch out. He's going to go back to Breloom. Breloom's going to trigger that Toxic Orb at this point, which is nice, makes it a nice status absorber. It's threatened Swampert with that Seed Bomb, which it's going to do immediately. A lot of people will Spore there. You know, I'm kind of torn if I'm the person with the Swampert, if I'm going to leave my Swampert in to take a Spore and absorb that status, or if I'm going to switch out expecting a Seed Bomb. I think that's a nice aggressive play from Btooom there. It's just going for the Seed Bomb on Swampert. Yeah, if something like Skarmory or Heatran comes in, you kind of waste, even Roserade in this instance, you kind of wasted your opportunity to put something to sleep there. But overall, it certainly ended up working out here. However, it is going to give Sweet a chance to bring that Gengar in. I thought he would go to Roserade there. Gengar is going to come in, it's going to fire off a Shadow Ball and knock out the sleeping Heatran, which unfortunately is going to mean that Roserade is no longer bound by that Sleep Clause. And also, you know, we've got a 1% Roserade here. We've got Swampert. And so Btoom's theory here is likely going to be, if I can get rocks up before that Roserade comes back in, then Roserade's going to die on the switching. However, Sweet knows this. Sweet knows that he has one more opportunity to get Roserade in before rocks go up. And if he can get Roserade in right here, the risk is extremely small. I mean, if you wait, Swampert's likely going to drop rocks anyways, and you don't have to worry about it. He's dead. Roserade's dead. If you risk bringing him in right now, and it pays off, and Swampert does go for Stealth Rocks, you stand to one-hit KO him with a Grass move, and you know, you're in safely. And that's exactly what Sweet did. Probably should have been caught by Btooom. I think I probably would Ice Beam there just to try to catch that Roserade. But you know, unfortunately, you know, it's kind of a series of unfortunate events. This Roserade shouldn't even still be alive. I think this is a good switch here to bring Breloom in on a predicted Sleep Powder. Like I said, he becomes a good status absorber. Right now, we still know that 2 of these Roserade's moves are going to be Sleep Powder and Hidden Power Ground. So he's rocking 2 more moves. You'd have to presume he's using a Grass move, because why else would he come in on that Swampert if he couldn't hit him and one-hit KO him with that Grass move? And then likely some sort of Hazard. I think Btooom errs on the side of caution here and is worried about that Sludge Bomb. Stab Sludge Bomb from an offensively invested Roserade is going to just shred this Breloom. So what does he do? He is going to switch out to his specially defensive Jirachi, try to absorb the Sludge Bomb, and instead he gets predicted on. He gets Hidden Power Ground. Now, a reasonable assumption at this point is that if Roserade had Sludge Bomb, it would have used it on Breloom. Instead, it went for the HP Ground, caught the Jirachi sleeping, and then the next turn just decimates this Breloom with Sludge Bomb. So what's the moveset now? Now we know the moveset is Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Ground, and Stealth Rock. Well, that's an easy switch, or sorry, Sleep Powder. Well, that's an easy switch for Rotom, right? Guess what? Turns out this Roserade is not rocking any entry hazards whatsoever. It fires off a very powerful Leaf Storm, takes the Rotom down to 12% health, and at this point, you know, using mostly just Roserade and just a touch of Gengar, Sweet has just, you know, run rampant through Btoom's team. You know, this is a person who you're never out of it in Gen 4. Depending on who your setup Pokemon is, you're never out of it. But he's got a sleeping, oh no, not this Swampert's not sleeping, but he's still got a full health Swampert. He's got a very hampered Rotom here, and then whatever his last Pokemon is. Whereas Sweet is sitting in control. Not only does he have 1 full health Gengar left, which is going to make quick work of this Rotom, but 3 unrevealed Pokemon that Btooom has no way of knowing what they are, and no way of, you know, kind of figuring out a game plan going forward. He could sack this Rotom here and find out he really needs this Rotom for one of Sweet's remaining Pokemon. And so we'll see if that's the case. And he does sack the Rotom. Gengar's going to make quick work of that. We're going to see a very powerful Shadow Ball off on Swampert there. It's going to take over more than half of his health. Here comes Jirachi. An unfortunate roar for Sweet, because Jirachi usually can't do too much to a Swampert. I would guess it's probably a physical Jirachi if it's switched out. Breloom's going to come in and absorb the Earthquake, which immediately it's going to threaten the Swampert. Instead, it goes for the Spore. See, that's something, you know, we kind of saw both ends of that Swampert versus Breloom matchup in this match. He's going to go ahead and get that easy sub and the 1-turn Wake. Btoom's going to get a chance to roar him out. He's going to go back to Jirachi, another unfortunate roar, and it is not a physical Jirachi, it's a special Jirachi. A little too much prediction there from Btooom. He should have gone for the Earthquake, you know. I don't know. It's 2020 hindsight. I see why he was going for the Ice Beam. He didn't want to give Gengar or even Breloom that free switch in again. So he went for the Ice Beam. Didn't pay off. It looks like Swampert's going to make quick work of him. Or sorry, Jirachi's going to make quick work of Swampert. And then we're down to Btoom's last hope. It is a Calm Mind Suicune, which I've seen a Calm Mind Suicune 4-0 a team before, single-handedly. But that doesn't account for Sweet's last being the Raikou. Raikou's going to put a pretty heavy dent in this, and then Gengar's just going to explode and take it out. So a well-fought match by Sweet, even though it ended up relatively close. I don't think it was quite as close as the score line indicates. We saw some great prediction work from Sweet, a very nice Sleep Powder 3-attack Sash lead Roserade set that really kept Btooom off guard the whole game. But that probably could have been dispatched by that Jirachi on the Iron Head. So, you know, it's early in the season. Btoom's got a lot of time to turn his season around. Sweet's back on track. I believe Sweet is 1-1 now, which, you know, is a pretty solid record to have in DPP, I say, without any hint of bias. So, it's been fun. Another good week of DPP matches. I look forward to bringing you guys another one from next week. But until then, this is Gunthug. I'll see you guys later.